You're ready. You're ready to pounce. You've been waiting for this.
I'll say the last thing I'll say about Texas A&M is if they miss a bowl game, I think Jimbo could legit get fired. But that said, the Ole Miss Rebels are coming to town this week, and Ole Miss is fool's gold, man.
Oh no,
they are. They started the season 7-0. Do you know how many SEC West teams they played in those first 7 games?
1, 0,
0.
Okay.
0 SEC West teams until mid to late October. We're calling the 22nd, 21st this weekend. That's late October. October is you play your first SEC West team of the year. And like I talked about, Auburn was the week before. So 6-0. 6-0 without playing a SEC West team. No disrespect to the Auburn Tiger fans out there. But Auburn has been awful this year, and they put up numbers against this Ole Miss offense, this Ole Miss defense. Going at LSU, like that's a hostile environment. Also a noon kickoff. You probably got a light Death Valley, if you will. But they couldn't stop LSU's offense. And now you got at Texas A&M, Alabama, at Arkansas, Mississippi State. You can't tell me you're confident that Ole Miss wins 2 more games this year.
Confident that they don't win 2 more.
You can't be confident that they win 2 games the rest of the way. Like at A&M, that's College Station. Like that's a hostile environment. Like as bad as their offense has been, it's like Ole Miss's defense is just let anybody score on them these days. Like Mississippi State, I don't really think that's definitely not a gimme. At Arkansas, like I feel like we all just forget about Arkansas because they lost so many games in a row. But with KJ Jefferson, this is still a really good team, and they're obviously still have to play Alabama. So, just start the season with 6 straight games, and then you get Kentucky and Vanderbilt. Like no disrespect to Kentucky, historically that's the easiest pull you could get from the East. But Kentucky and at Vanderbilt, like they a pretty good draw from the East. 6 straight. And then you got 6 straight SEC West games to finish the season. I think Ole Miss is going to be in for a bad second half of the season.
I don't think so. I don't think I think it's 2-2 the back half. So they're 7-1 right now. I think they split. This is where it's tough. I think they get A&M, and then I think they get Mississippi State at home. Like we know the history of Mike Leach and rivalry games. Not great. And you get it at home in the Egg Bowl. So I think they get those 2. And then look, I think the only one that I would be I think I'm more confident in Arkansas beating Ole Miss at home than I am Alabama beating Ole Miss on the road. I think that is still one that based on
you're saying Alabama. You saying Alabama's a dangerous game for Ole Miss?
I think Arkansas
Ole
is more
Miss
dangerous.
Is a dangerous game for Alabama, you're saying?
At home, yeah. I think so.
Wow. See, I was thinking we were counting Alabama as an automatic loss for
I'm not there.
And then at A&M and at Arkansas, like I thought Mississippi State is the one you have to win.
And I think that's a good place to be in. I mean, but still, even if you only go 2-2 there, it's 9-3. 9-3 after 10-2 a year ago, where a lot of people were like, is it going to be just come back down to earth year for Lane Kiffin? 19 wins in 2 years at Ole Miss is pretty phenomenal.
So you don't think 7-5 is possible? 5 straight losses to end the season?
I mean, it's possible. It's just not likely, I don't think.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I think 8-4 is a very real
that's a possibility.
Potentially losing 4 of your last 5 games to finish the season.
I mean, that's just like kind of like you said, it's circumstantial because of the way the season was built. Like they had a schedule that was completely backloaded with the toughest division in football. Like that's not, I mean, look, it's tough, but that's a weird way of doing the schedule. It's just the way they constructed it. But I don't know. I just looked at that game.
Good to create some buzz. Get your team ranked with a bunch of easy wins. We're gonna be laughing in like 3 or 4 weeks. Like you remember when Ole Miss was like number 8? Like crazy rankings this year have just been absolutely just unpredictable.
Well, LSU came back from a 17-3 hole in this one where I thought Ole Miss was just going to roll. I picked Ole Miss in this game. LSU looked like this was just going to get out of hand, kind of like the Tennessee LSU game. And it did not. LSU has figured a lot of stuff out. the thing about them, though, which is so weird because Noah Cain transferred there this offseason, left Penn State, and we just kind of assumed that he was just going to be a dude because LSU has just been so good at developing RBs over the years. He has not been that guy. LSU cannot run the ball whatsoever. But Jane Daniels can when he bounces around and does stuff. And Jane Daniels has been incredible. And he completely outplayed Jackson Dart in this one. This is where, if you're an Ole Miss fan, you're like, okay, this is where we're limited, is at quarterback. He's just not Matt Corral. Matt Corral was a special player last year for the Rebels. And Jackson Dart had to make moves for the Rebels this weekend. And he just did not do it. Like, he had to make plays with his arm. And that was not what happened. LSU just dominated them from then on, from the 17-3, getting up 40 points on that one. So I don't know. I think that's a pretty concerning turn of events if you're an Ole Miss fan, how that one got away from you to that degree. But I think LSU has figured a lot of stuff out, and Brian Kelly, I think he's going to be just fine at LSU. And I think the Notre Dame fans who were laughing at the Florida State loss with the special teams and then getting blown out at home by Tennessee, that Tennessee loss doesn't look as bad for LSU, where they're like, yeah, well, guess what? Have you seen this Tennessee team lately? Yeah, they're really good. Like, it's not a crazy bad loss. And then it's week 1, neutral site, first game with the team. Weird stuff happened in the dome, like whatever. Outside of that, like, there's an easy path if that game goes differently, that they're 6-1 at this point. And LSU in year 1, Brian Kelly, I think they're going to be fine. I think this is actually my biggest takeaway, is that LSU is going to be, they're going to be an SEC West favorite, I think, going into next year. I think Brian Kelly is going to have this thing humming, and that LSU is in very, very good shape in the not too distant future. What was your takeaway on that front?
That's what I tried to tell anyone who would listen before the season started. Like, he doesn't fit the culture in LSU, the fake accent, all this, the dancing, like whatever. He's a good football coach. And